The meta just got megafied because ranked is now out so you can play it. This format has been all about massive damage, high HP, and just lightning fast setups. So if you're not playing the right deck, you're really just giving away free ranked points. So we're going to be breaking down the best decks to be playing right now so that way you can go ahead and start climbing. So let's go ahead and talk through all of the decks lists. But first and foremost, let's talk about one of the most popular ones for a good reason, and that here is Mega Altaria. What you're seeing right now is the standard build here with the tournament success it's been having. It's like the highest rate amongst all of the popular decks. When we're thinking about consistency, it's like excellent here. And just the pacing in terms of the fast setups, it's about like medium, but you really do have the gold standard of the current metagame here. This deck combines Chingling, Jirachi, Swablu, Baby Altaria, and NDDD EX here to complete that consistent package that has been dominating. So your core strategy really is to fill your bench quickly to maximize this damage output. You have Chingling to disrupt your opponent's evolution plans, giving you time for your Mega Altaria to be established. And DDD EX just gives you that healing in an active spot just to continuously outlast your opponent and just take away what they're trying to do and also their knockout points, right? And then you have base Altaria here, who's just doing the cleanup work when you're seeing other things like Oricorio that can be very problematic. So what you're really looking to do here is just kind of like a counter punching style. You allow opponents to take early Mars while you're building your board state, and then you start attacking right back, and then you have Mars to support with you in that sense, because while you are losing those Pokemon, they're going to be losing their hand towards the end there. What's really great is that we're running 2, 4, 5, 6 basic Pokemon, so you definitely have a lot of opportunities to ensure that you can still attack very quickly as well. And then having the retreat costs all basically be 1 Chingling with none allows you to have positioning and tempo control, which is really strong here. And so this having again that power of 130, your supporters with Lycia and Copycat really just ensure that you're getting that board state filled out, so that 130 is going to be constantly hitting there, which is really strong. There is another variation of this deck which looks like this, which is the Giratina EX here. So essentially you are just boosting your attack power through any which way here, right? So Giratina generates its own energy and is able to attack for 130 by turn 3. Mega Altaria provides the finishing power, and you have DDD who offers utility damage and healing. If they are boosting up their own 3 or 4 energy attacker, you have NDD to attack with Psychic here, but again having 2 NDD EX provides you with 40 healing per turn. Since you're only playing Psychic energy, this creates an opportunity for you to really build out your own attackers in which way possible, which is really strong, right? Like you don't need to just generate with Giratina, you can power this up once you already have 1 energy on your Swablu in the back, same with NDD, and still have that there. Now, why I like this version a bit more is that we just have more data on it. We have the piece here where like we just know that this matchup has not only been popular, but it has shown high success at a high volume, whereas this is still providing that. So where we have like proven information from all the tournaments that we have that this is the stronger version, but this is still very strong as well. And then we do know that while Mega Altaria is the gold standard, right, like this is the most played Mega currently, the secondary one is Absol, and while Mega Altaria is weak to Steel, Giratina and NDD EX is weak to Darkness. So any of those packages that come with Absol do run that dark energy, and then so you are susceptible to the extra plus 20 damage, which you may or may not be when in this package here, where your main attacker really is your Mega Altaria EX here. So just thinking about this here, we do see that the Rocky helmet here is used to help chip away, but maybe you replace it with Giant Cape just to give you that extra boost of health, so that way you can last things out like Hydreigon here. And then we're going to continue down into Mega Absol EX here. Mega Absol is just been really high, right? Like it's just been really great in terms of the play rate and success. But Mega Absol has a lot of different variants that we'll talk through together here, but what I'm showing you, like, this deck has been doing phenomenally in terms of placements and wins across the tournament scene, and this gives you a lot of options. And what's really great about this is, like what I mentioned earlier, is that this is one of the fastest setups here, because as you can see, 2 energy, 1 energy to start attacking. So what this includes here is that since you're low Pokemon count, you're able to get those extra supporter cards, right? You have your Pokemon Center Lady, you have your Guzma, you have Double Cyrus, you have Mars, right? That gives you extra room for these trainers, and as we know, trainers are huge. Regular Absol gives you early pressure on your mons, especially like things like Mega Altaria, who like to fill up their bench here, because then you can just leap over and start dealing damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon and start chipping away there, and then Cyrusing them up later for your Mega Absol EX. You get to lead with Nihilego if that's fine, but that just gives you, if you have Nihilego go in second, you can attach an energy here, do the second, start attacking for 30 with the poison as well. What I really do like about this is, like, this creates fast games, it creates consistent performance. You know exactly like what I should do. I should either hit with Leap Over, or I should hit with Darkness Claw, start removing their hand here. So having a viscount here, the Poison Barb on your Mega Absol or on your Absol, being able to stack and get that residual damage, so that way this Darkness Claw does hit for 80, but it has higher reach in terms of finishing power, since you've been able to chip away with Nihilego and you've been able to chip away with Absol. So this is really great here in terms of that. So this is really looking for, this style of deck right here is really looking for consistency, which makes it ideal for grinding your ranked games. When we take a look at this variation, this one does include a 1 Chingling, but again, still kind of a similar approach here. What you're now trying to do in this variation is just trying to disrupt those rare candy strategies, right? We're talking Mega Blaziken, we're talking Suicune Greninja, right? There's Hydreigon, opposing Hydreigons in terms of the matchups here, Crobats, which we'll like see momentarily. So this really gets you a really effectiveness into those evolution heavy decks, which, you know, we're seeing some basics and some stage 1s, but there are definitely those heavy evolution ones that you'll run into. Again, you're boosting up the straightforwardness here because it's still similar gameplay, but the Chingling in here just adds that additional factor of the jingling noise. The only thing now to keep in mind is your Chingling is only 30 HP, so very susceptible to go down. But again, you're stacking this with Poison Barb and Nihilego to chip away. You're attacking with the Mega Absol, you're hitting with the your normal Absol to be able to deal with the Cyrus. And not only just like, remember, you are losing out, your opponent is losing out on supporters, which is the great thing, right? Like once this starts setting up and you start going, they're losing their supporters, they're losing their Cyruses when you retreat, they're losing their Sabrinas, they're losing their Copycat to draw cards, all of those fun things. So the only thing to keep in mind is that if folks are now starting to run double stage 1s to ensure that they can evolve despite the Chingling, you can definitely just start, you can drop it, run this one. So whichever playstyle that you like is here. I do like the Chingling just to start off with, just to ensure those basics stay as basics, and I can punish with Absol or anything else like that, but this is a really nice touch. Then we continue on to the Crobat EX version here. So this is a great, this is also just a great deck. I think it's underrated here, and I've had to face this a few times already. But what you're doing is being able to go first. You can just hit hard, right? Zubat is there, you wait, you rare candy into Crobat EX, you're attacking for just 1 energy. So if you go second, you get to poison them right away with Nihilego on the bench, or if you're going first, you get to poison them and hit attack for 70. So that damage output is strong, and that gets you there. You're not worried about Oricorio because the poison damage with the Nihilego stacks just brings and chips that down as well. And since you are able to just commit 1 energy to Crobat, you can then commit that energy to Nihilego if you need to, or to Mega Absol EX as well. Mega Absol again protecting your Crobat and your other mons from being pulled up when you don't want to, because you're getting rid of those supporters, so you can feel comfortable being all aggressive here, right? Like you get that early damage and you get to attack really well here. So that's really strong. Being able to lead with either of them creates favorable positions, and again, looking across the board, 1 retreat cost for all of them. So even having the little tech piece of X speed, right? And I would call it X speed a tech card here, because it just maneuvers the board around while keeping the energy, while pivoting to something that your opponent wasn't expecting, because we don't see a lot of this out right now. And so this is a card that can catch your opponent off guard, so that way you're ready to go in and attack right away, much sooner than they think that you could have. And then the last variant that I want to talk through is the Mega Absol Hydreigon here, right? So this is just premier high roll strategy. When you are able to draw your cards, you're destroying, right? Like this is the new Rampardos. Thinking about how not only but the new, but like also better Rampardos, because you can search for your dino and then attack with your dino and then get yourself set up for Hydreigon, right? Like this is totally fine. So your Zweilous is in here to counteract the Chinglings that are out there in the meta, and you're going to want to think about that as you continue to play. But your Hydreigon is your primary damage healer. You do self power, you do hurt yourself, but this just allows you to attack and just destroy when it works. Right? Nothing can beat a turn to 130 damage attack. Crazy. It's crazy. So you can brick, and like that's just like one of the things that like I do want to note. Like you can brick, like you do need to be able to like connect in here. So that's why you have the copycats to like reshuffle your hand up, so that way that can be the case. But if it goes well, it goes really well, and that really does counter a lot of things, because 130, not a lot of folks can keep up with that, especially if you have 2 on the board, because they are worth just 1 point. That much damage, 1 point, 150 HP to start. Really strong here. So then, now let's continue to the water style decks. And what we have here is basically the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So what we have here is your traditional build of Suicune Giratina, but now Greninja EX has been able to like really boost up this performance, right? Like this is a 100%. When you're thinking of consistency, it's there, and this deck can be really fast, because if you're able to start off with that Suicune, and like trust me when I say this, it feels like this deck usually gets their hand right away, right? So you're getting to draw your cards here. Your May is able to shift back your Pokemon cards, so that way you can rare candy evolve when you need to, and you can just continue to pull. Other folks may have copycat, but you're not really worried about that. You're worried about your game plan, and your game plan is to have your Suicune up, have your Giratina building, having one Greninja, and having 1 Greninja EX here. This Greninja EX allows you to, 1, have high HP, right? Like you go from 140 to 160 with Suicune, but you can go from 170 to 190 with Greninja EX. But then this, with the shifting stream, allows you to move around and attack either way. So if they're trying to avoid putting things onto the bench, you now have a reliable and dependable and fast, right? Keyword there, fast attacker with Greninja, because you're attacking for 2 energy for Aqua Edge for 100. So this gives you that enhanced consistency. This allows you with May to make turn 2 Greninja way more reliable. You have excellent matchups against other variants, and because this build can be like maneuvered around, you're allowed to like excuse me, because this deck is moving around, you're allowed to pivot, and pivoting for free is huge while keeping your energy, so that way you can decide the tempo and not your opponent's other way around. The other build that we have is 2 Greninja EXs instead of 1, and we're actually losing the Giratina here. So this is just all about survivability. You want to be bulky. You have 170 HP. You have 170 HP with Greninja, 140 with Suicune, 160, 190 as we stated earlier, and this allows you to live a hit from Hydreigon. This allows you to live multiple hits from Mega Absol. This allows you to survive hits from Mega Altaria if they're trying to do some cheeky Rocky Helmet, Poison Barb strats to be a little different. So having this here, being able to survive those and then be able to be on the offensive, you have your Iridas for those healings as well too, to even provide even more durability, makes it really strong. So really do like how this can counter, especially when played right, this can easily counter the other 2 decks that we see at like the number 1 and number 2 slot, fighting back and forth between Mega Altaria and Mega Absol. Then we continue here to Decidueye. Decidueye EX is actually doing really well. I really do like this finishing power between having both Decidueye and having 2 Decidueye EXs. You're simply just having your base Decidueye here to snipe those bench Pokemon, disrupting those Mega Evolutions before they can threaten you, and Decidueye EX allows you to just be a strong finisher because you're at 170 HP, 200 with the Leaf Cape, you're getting hit with the Lily, you're getting hit with the Erica. So while you have 2 Mons here, you essentially are going through so much health. 2 Lilies and an Erica provides you 170 HP, so that's essentially another Decidueye EX here. So thinking about the meta, you get to hit dark types for weakness, which is really strong, and then the top decks don't get to pressure Decidueye as effectively, whereas you get to do that yourself, right? Your Decidueye, your base Decidueye clears an Oricorio with no problem, and then you can also take care of those basics before they get started as well, since they're very low energy. For 2 for Sniping Arrow, 2 for Pierce the Pain, you get to snipe that backline before things happen from there. You really do want to keep Copycat into this just to make sure that that rare candy can come into your hand more often than not. So it's really great to have that here, and while we see a lot of Mega Absol and its variants out there, you're in a very good spot to be able to counter that directly if you are facing a ton of that in your own metagame. Then we continue to Magnezone Oricorio here. The consistency has been very strong with this because you are not worried about Chingling at all. You're able to generate your ability. This is Magneton is the best stage 1 in the game, and quite honestly, if Pokemon Pocket is able to print more effective stage 1s, then Chingling is going to be out of a job. Right, so you are really thinking about what you're doing on your side of the board. You're trying to just get your Volt Charge up, and then with this ability, you're charging yourself up before you play out your Magnezones, which means that you can power up your Oricorio and chip away at 50, or you can Jingling Noise and not feel bad about it because they do have to take out 3 Pokemon since you're running no EXs. We know that Suicune and Greninja are in the metagame, they are strong, they're very popular, so you're able to counter attack that through your Oricorio because of their EXs, because of the Chingling to stop the Greninjas and your Magnezone. That hits very hard. You're attacking for 130 into that Suicune or into that Greninja EX. Now games may take longer because you're slowly building this up, right? There's no ramping into Magnezone, and you still have to charge to make sure that you're hitting here, but you get to slow it down yourself because you have your Oricorio as your walls and as your chip hitting here, so that's really great. And then your opponents are having a harder time trying to deal with your Pokemon. And then the last deck that we're going to be talking about for today's video is Greninja Oricorio here. This has been consistently played. This has been also a popular deck, and in that similar fashion, non-EX here. So again, 3 Pokemon that they have to knock out in order to win. And this has been a control archetype that has been really around since Oricorio has been introduced. This allows you to pressure from the bench with Greninja as Oricorio solves as your wall. Your Copycat improves your chances of getting to Greninja much faster, either through searching for your rare candy or through the Greninjas as well. This isn't the fastest climb, but you're able to be consistent in terms of attacking. This is a very strong style deck here. You can run it with just water if you'd like, but you can also dual energy here, especially because Froakie and Frogadier are colorless and Greninja just needs 1 water and Oricorio just needs 1 electric. So just a matter of just putting the energy wherever it fits, but you can definitely get there. And since Oricorio serves as a wall and you can still attack with Greninja without the energy, that you running dual energy here is totally fine as well. You are expecting a slower game, which is great because a lot of opponents don't really have Oricorio answers, or they're only running 1 card to have the Oricorio answer, and sometimes you can get built up and set up because by the time that they drop it, you have your Cyrus ready to go, or you have your double Greninjas, and then you're now attacking for 90 per turn with your Oricorio up front still being safe here. So yeah, y'all, just like flipping through these decks right here, these are going to be great, and I'm excited myself also just to kind of like go through this road of getting to Masters with this deck. This new set, B1 Mega Rising, has hit it in the head. I've been having so much fun with not only just the meta decks, but with decks just in general. Has been really great to put things together and have a lot of fun with them. So let me know, what deck will you be playing in ranked? Let me know the deck list down in the bottom. Who knows, maybe we'll be able to take it live ourselves as well too and have ourselves a great time. As always, y'all, it's your boy Ben here. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.